Peace and love, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, please like and subscribe. And peace and love to everyone out there on this wonderful Monday or Moon Day. This is April 15th, and we are a week away from the great happening, the great solar eclipse of last week. We had last Monday on April 8th, which was a phenomenal event on so many different levels. It was highly anticipated for many months. I know people who were waiting for it for like a couple of years at least. And definitely the last several months, I've been excited and anticipating it. And it was just well worth the wait. It was a wonderful day of ceremony and prayer. It was definitely a time of stillness and going within and getting quiet and just observing the happenings that was taking place in the universe. And that was part of what made it so very special. And I live on the East Coast, and so we actually felt some of we're not in the direct path of the eclipse. However, we did experience some of it. The sky got dim, and it got very, very quiet during that 2.5 hours or so of the eclipse, which was very interesting because I live in a suburban area, so it can be quite noisy at times, especially when the weather's nice outside. You hear a lot of cars. There's a lot of animal activity with the birds and things like that. But it was so quiet during the eclipse. The birds were quiet and still. And so in that moment of that supreme stillness and that quiet, I took that time to meditate. And it was this wonderful experience, physically as well as energetically. It was just beautiful. And I'm so thankful that I had that opportunity. The one in 2017, the big solar eclipse, which was, I think it was August of that year. I spent that time with a very close friend of mine and we watched it together. However, this year she is amongst the ancestors now. So it was kind of bittersweet having that experience without her. But she remains with me in spiritual essence. So I really just was at home with my family during the eclipse, but it was still a blessed event. I'm very thankful for it. So those of you in the chat, please share with us your eclipse experiences. I do know that many people were expecting some big aha moment or some big boom or big bang or something to happen on that day. And the effects of the eclipse were a little bit more subtle for me and for most people that I know, although I feel like I was feeling the effects of it before it actually happened. There was a lot of heavy energy around, make me feel very fatigued days before the eclipse. But the day of it, there was some, I noticed some physical things, and some other people told me too that they had headaches during the eclipse or they felt extra tired. Some people said they felt very energized during it. They felt, other sensations in their body, and different people felt different things. It just depends on your level of awareness and how sensitive you are to subtle energies, and everybody's different. Don't compare yourself to someone else. If someone else had some other experiences that you did not have, that is okay. It's not a bad thing. And if you had no experiences whatsoever, that's fine too. Everybody's different. And how we are aware of things is also different. So the days leading up to the eclipse, like I said, we were preparing for it, and in ceremony and just getting quieter and still. And as it happened, it just really felt like just a sensational event. I've experienced other eclipses before, mostly lunar, but there was something really special about this one last week. And it was just a great experience. And, I hope everyone had similar great experiences. And so in Eclipse, um, when the the celestial world is kind of a hidden world to us. We see the stars at night, the moon at night. We also see, the sun rising in the AM, and it's changing, or it's movement, I should say, throughout the day. And so we see these things, and we also, can look up at the sky at night, and sometimes you see some stars appear brighter than others. In the winter months, in the fall, where I live, I can see the constellation, the Orion constellation, much more visibly. And so all of these things are um exciting to us, the celestial realm, the heavenly realm. But during an eclipse, you actually can see the movements of these celestial objects and these heavenly bodies. And it's just a awesomeness and a mystery about them. And it kind of makes it less mysterious because these things are moving, that they are active, but it's during an eclipse that you can actually see it with your physical eyes, and you see the movements. And during the daytime, it was sunny here. And when the eclipse started taking place, all of a sudden the sky got dim, like dusk or the early morning dawn time, and it got so quiet. So even the animals and the insects that are active during the daytime, they got quiet, which shows that they themselves went within, or they, maybe they have some kind of reverence for it, or it's just the workings of the universe. Also, the energies of that have an effect on them, because it got, like I said, you didn't hear any sounds outside. It was just silence. So, we have somebody in the chat. Dia, welcome. Hey, how are you, my love? Welcome, and thank you for joining. So, um, the saying "as above, so below" keeps coming to mind with this eclipse. And with all celestial things, we want to look at the esoteric meaning in these things. And so I kind of shared a little bit with you last Monday this time. And the eclipse, by it being a time when things, the moon moves in between the earth and the sun and creates that shadow effect, that is to remind us to go within, to be and to focus on our inner healing, our shadow work. So several people are telling me that, they, in the last several weeks or months leading up to the eclipse, they've been doing more inner child work, more shadow work. And if that's what you feel intuitively, if you intuitively felt that that's what you need to do, then you should follow that. Several people are telling me that that's what they've been working on, releasing some, childhood trauma, tapping into their inner child, doing inner child work. All of that is great. And if you feel inspired to do those things, then you should follow that nudging from spirit, because your higher self is always communicating with you and is probably telling you this is something that you need to work on, something that you need to heal, and use this time to do that. As above, so below. Anytime there's something going on in the universe above us that deals with that stillness, that still time, we should use that time to go into ceremony, into our prayers and our meditations. Coincidentally, or not coincidentally, this year's holy month of Ramadan for the Islamic world was also during this solar eclipse last week, because Ramadan just ended last week. So many people were already fasting before this eclipse took place. And there's also a special prayer that you do during the eclipse, if for Muslims. And then other cultures, I've talked to some other people I know who are from some other indigenous cultures, and they told me that they also during eclipse, they also remain still and quiet. It's a time for reflection, a time for meditation and prayer, and just listening to the earth and being still in spirit. Some cultures actually don't look at the eclipse. One of my friends, her culture, she said they don't look at the eclipse and they don't look at images of it, which I thought was interesting. And she told me the reason why, and that is how their culture reverences it or shows respect for it. And many people do different things, and I'm not going to say which one is right, which one is wrong. You have to follow your heart, your spirit, and what feels good to you and what feels natural to you. And some people went outside to look at it, some people spent that time inside meditating and praying. Whatever works for you, that's what you do. But during that time of that stillness, where the planetary bodies align, that's a time when we should be still as well. Eclipse is not a time to be, running around outside and doing any kind of strenuous activities. This is a time where you should be sitting still and sitting quiet, and just those of us who especially you all who've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I'm all about striving to live in harmony with the time and frequencies of the earth. And that means being in tune with the different cycles and the different planetary events like the solstices, the equinoxes, and the moon cycles, and of course being in harmony with the eclipse season. And so we want to be obedient to those natural laws and time and frequencies. And it's good to stay still and use that time for prayer, meditation, and self reflection. Now, many people reported to me feeling lots of changes while it was taking place. Some people told me they had headaches, they felt exhausted before, during, and after. They needed extra sleep. All of those may be just subtle effects of it, because anything that's happening in the celestial realm produces energy, and the energy will affect us in different ways. So it may make some people feel lightheaded or unstable physically. It may make some people need, feel that they need more sleep. It may energize some other people and they feel like they need less. It varies. Some people said that they had very vivid dreams prior to the eclipse, and that could be normal too. Let's see. Dia said, yes, I was very sleepy. I took a nap during the eclipse. Oh, that's good. That's good. So you probably did some astral travel if you took a nap during the eclipse. And different people had different experiences because, like I said, the energy from it was very powerful and it was felt by many, and it just affected different people in different ways. And so speaking of it from a metaphysical point of view, there was a lot of talk. The internet was ablaze with conversations about, oh, this is a sign of the end times, the sign of, the world coming to an end, or a cycle coming to an end, or what have you, or this is the beginning of, a new time. We already know that we're in the new earth, and things are speeding up. Time is speeding up energetically. And to me, the eclipse was just another one of the signs in the heavens to let us know that we're in a new dispensation of time. A new paradigm shift is taking place. And with that said, we must remember to stay awake and stay aware. That big event was not the total end of it all. It was just a sign for us that change is on the horizon. And if folks out there, what the meaning behind X mark the spot is. We're not going to go into a whole lot of detail with that tonight, but if you know, and let that be a reminder to you of what time we're in, and let it be a reminder to you of who you are and whose you are, and to always stay in that awareness. be aware of who you are and whose you are. And with that knowledge, live and walk in that knowledge. So let that sign in the heavens be a gentle reminder to you in case you forgot, and in case you have strayed from that path, let it be a sign to remind you to come back to who you are and to remember who you are, and to use that event to, I guess, help you, guide you to the right path, the path, the narrow path, the path that you should never depart from. And so that was a sign for many people that it's the dawn of a new era. It's a big paradigm shift. And that was kind of like the symbol of it for some people. Um, the planetary alignment that took place during that time and was taking place now in this spring, there's been a whole lot going on in the skies above us this spring since the equinox started. And back in March. I mean, it's been a lot of things happening, and it's happening very rapidly. And it seems like you don't catch a break. Like once one thing happens, then something else happens. But it truly is. Mercury is in retrograde right now. We had a lunar eclipse on the last full moon. And then we just had this full solar eclipse. And then there's also a comet that's supposed to be visible very soon in the skies. I haven't heard anybody say they've seen it yet, and I certainly haven't seen it. And I am a stargazer. I go outside and look at the stars at night a lot. So all of that generates a lot of energy. And we know energy is neither good nor bad. It just depends on who's using it and how and what's their intention. And so while the eclipse was taking place last week, not everybody was in a peaceful frame of mind and were meditating and praying, for change to come and sitting still. There were others who were using that energy for very different purposes. And we want to be, not to be afraid, because fear is not, doesn't benefit us, but just to be aware that these energies are sometimes being manipulated in nefarious ways. So always remember that. And remember, the eclipse creates a shadow, and we too should be creating a shadow and shadowing the negativity out of our lives, just like, the moon moved in between the sun and the earth. We also need to put something between us and negative, toxic people and situations. And we need to turn your back and shadow on things that create negativity in your life, things that create fear, confusion, anger, um, any hatred, bitterness, upsetness, anything that creates an imbalance in your life or makes you feel any way that is not for your highest good. Remember, so use that as a catalyst, if you will, to help you to create the energy that you need to distance yourself from negativity, or create like a shadow between you and negative forces that are trying to interfere with you and your happiness every day. And remember, family, to just stay awake, stay woke, as they say, hashtag stay woke, stay aware. Um, no one can deceive you at this point and put you back to sleep. Those of you who are going through this great awakening, there's a great spiritual awakening taking place um, right now on our beautiful planet. And many, many light workers are stepping into the knowledge of self. They're awakening to their abilities. They're awakening to their purpose and discovering, who they are and what their special gifts are that they can share with the rest of us, and are stepping in their paths. And that's what we all want to do. We want to fulfill our purpose for being here. We want to fulfill our destiny and be the best versions of ourselves. Be great, be courageous, manifest the God that is within us. That's what we all should be striving to do, and not focusing on the negativity and letting anyone take you off your square, take you out of character, take you out of alignment with your purpose and your highest good. So always keep that in mind. That's something I have to strive to do as well, but always keep that in mind, that there is a purpose and a higher calling for you and for being here at this time. This is the greatest of times to be alive, and we can make it better if we strive to do that, and we can. I truly believe that we can make the earth a better place. We can make it a place of love and abundance and freedom and peace and justice everywhere, everywhere for everyone. And we have to be the ones to make that change and to create heaven on earth. We cannot sit and wait for someone to come and do that for us. We have to come together with those that are like-minded and do that for ourselves and for one another. So with that said, I hope you and continue to enjoy this supreme energy from the eclipse and continue to strive for excellence and greatness, and just stay aware, stay awake, stay strong, stay positive. Peace and love, everyone.